Welcome to the Waiver Wire. Waiver Wire.
Waiver Wire.
Waiver Wire.
Waiver Wire.
Waiver Wire.
Slam!
Wire.
Jam! Slam if you want to jam! Hey, you, what you gonna do? Hey, you, what you gonna do? Party people in the house, let's go. Oh, what up? Welcome to the Waiver Wire, where fantasy players become fantasy legends. It's an all basketball show today, boy. No, I'm just kidding. I got some football stuff at the end. But, we're in the heart of the basketball playoffs. So I thought I'd come on and chit-chat about the one, the only. And I really am going to get on a soapbox today. I really am going to let loose. I really am going to explain how I feel. I'm really going to explain why LeBron is so much better than everybody else. It's not so much better than everybody else. I'll explain. But, getting right into it. The Los Angeles Lakers, who started off 2-10, who were pretty much dead in the water with Russell Westbrook and all those other gang of misfits that they had, they are now in the Western Conference Finals. I would not have said that, and I'm a LeBron stan. I love LeBron, but I actually picked the Warriors and the Celtics to repeat and have another rematch from last year. I don't believe that's what's going to happen now, but we'll get to that. The Warriors there a couple of things happened. First of all, Jordan Poole, I don't know. He just sucked all of a sudden. He got his soul sucked through his dick, and he can't get it back. I'm not quite sure. Klay Thompson did kind of disappear. He didn't play great, and they just were too small. Kevon Looney was able to get them boards, but he really wasn't able to defend Anthony Davis. There really wasn't a lot that they could do whenever the Lakers just played defense on them. And, man, the defensive game by Vanderbilt and just the way that the rest of these guys are playing, the Rui pickup, all the pickups that the Lakers have made such an impact on them. Haven't they? I mean, it really has. It's like the fact that Austin Reeves, the Great White Hope, has come out of nowhere. It's unbelievable. So I'm all in on the Lakers. Of course I'm all in on the Lakers. Of course I'm all in on LeBron. Of course I'm all in. My guy, LeBron, always is going to be my guy. And if he does this at 30, if he wins at 38 in year 20, if he wins his 5th title, goes to his the fucking 11th final, 11 finals. This is what I want to say about LeBron James too, and I've said it again and again. I will continue to say it. He is the best of all time. He was robbed of his legacy when he was in arguably one of the greatest primes. When he was in his prime, for those 8 years that he was in his prime, going to finals again and again and again and again, there was no one, and I mean no one, including Michael Jordan, that was at that level. But Kevin Durant robbed him of his legacy by being a puss that joined the team that beat him. Again, I say, if LeBron had joined the Celtics of Kevin Garnett and Ray Allen and Paul Pierce back in the day, we would all roasted this motherfucker way worse than we did when he joined Miami. Him joining Miami, people were kind of excited. There were people like me that were excited about it. There were people that were haters that were like, oh, this is lame, super team. But none of us really knew if it was going to work. If he would have joined the Boston Celtics team that beat him the year before, are you kidding me? I would have been like, this is weak. I don't want anything to do with this. This is fucking weak. But that's not what happened. He joined a team with Dwayne Wade, amazing. Chris Bosh, who did not play like the Toronto Chris Bosh whenever they got there. And then Mario Chalmers, Shane Battier, Joel Anthony. I mean, you go ahead and you look up the first year's Miami Heat squad. You look it up. Look it up. It's not very deep. It is not very deep. There are not a lot of players on that team. It was basically just the three of them, which is hard to do. I mean, look at all the teams that are left now. I would argue that all the teams that are left now are very deep. Even Miami, who, I mean, Tyler Hero's out, and they don't really have another superstar other than Jimmy Butler, but the role players on Miami are very good, and there's a lot of them. You got Kyle Lowry coming off the bench giving you real minutes, so you gotta have a deep squad whenever you're talking about winning an NBA championship. I don't think I can go back to any NBA team that's won a championship in the last 100 years that didn't have bench role players 1 through 5 play well. It doesn't happen. And to touch a little more about LeBron versus Jordan, I'm done with this. Okay, I'm done with explaining that just because you old heads get locked into that you saw Jordan play and you don't get it. He was just better than everybody on the court. Yeah, he was better than Danny Ainge and Craig Elo and Byron Scott and John Starks. I'm saying names right now of guys that wouldn't sniff the floor in today's NBA. Do you hear what I'm saying? John Starks, who didn't have a shot, a three-point shot, that was a pretty much a role-playing defensive player on that fucking Knicks team. It wouldn't have happened. There's no way it would have happened. There's no way he'd be some starter that people are like, oh, he's good. No. And John Starks is always where I start, but I can go off of all those other white people that I just named. Craig Elo, shut your fucking mouth. So the teams that Jordan beat, he beat the Los Angeles Lakers with Magic Johnson and no Kareem. That is a big deal, by the way, because the Kareem Magic Johnson duo is what made them the Showtime Lakers, okay? It was Magic Johnson, and I do believe if Magic Johnson had continued to play, that was Magic Johnson's last year in the league, if he had continued to play, I guarantee you there would have been more matchups with the Bulls, and I guarantee you that Magic would have won at least one of them. I digress. That's the one and only that I'll give you. I will give you the Los Angeles Lakers. That is a good team. He beat them. Good for you. After that, it's the Phoenix Suns. It's the Seattle Supersonics. It's the Charles Barkley Phoenix Suns with Dan Marley and Danny Ainge. Huh? It's the Seattle Supersonics with Gary Payton, who is a first ballot all good in my book, but Sean Kemp, who really wasn't that good of an all-around player, people just love his dunking. I love his dunking, but that doesn't mean that there was some super team with Detlef Schrempf. Hey, shut up! It's unbelievable that you don't get to use this argument when you talk. All that Jordan fans are going to tell you is 6 for 6. He went to the finals. He never lost. And what about the other 9 years that he was in the league? Well, does that not matter? Does it not matter that he lost to Larry Bird every time he saw him? That he lost to the Celtics? That he lost to the Pistons? I mean, I feel like LeBron's career, from the time he's entered the league, from the time he was a fucking 16-year-old kid, he's supposed to win championships. Anytime he didn't get to the finals, it was like, kid's a loser. We see guys like Joel Embiid and even Giannis, who's getting bounced in the first round. We don't hold them to the same level. We'll basketball fans will say, they're just, this is why I can't believe in Joel Embiid. This is why I can't believe in XYZ. And I respect that. I actually completely agree with that. But LeBron is held to an unbelievable standard. And he met it. He answered the bell. How can you not be impressed with all of the numbers? The numbers are outrageous. The numbers will never be touched. He's going to play with his kid. You will never see it again. You will never see an NBA player play long enough to play with his kids. Mark my fucking words. Steph, who is maybe the next in his hemisphere of superstar who I believe has rocketed himself up into a top 10 conversation. His kid's what? His son's like fucking 3 years old. He's 35. He's going to be out of the league soon. His kid's not going to play with him. You know why? Because LeBron had Bronny when he was a fucking senior in high school. I don't know. It was somewhere in there. It was close. It was right in the league. And then played for 20 years. It's unbelievable. It does matter. All of this matters in a Jordan conversation. Now, here's what makes me mad is that all I want from Michael Jordan fans is for them to say it's close. When I put my hands like this and I say, okay, LeBron's number 1 and Michael Jordan's number 2, I want you to know that I mean it's razor thin close because I realize how good Michael Jordan was. I've seen it. I get the stats. I know all the stuff that he did. It was great. Now, I believe he was an athlete like no other at that time. There weren't athletes like him. Gary Payton, for example, who was a great athlete, was 3 or 4 inches shorter than him and, lighter by about 30 pounds. He just wasn't the same dude. But LeBron is literally what you dream up in a lab. He's 6'9", 260. I mean, it can dribble, can shoot, can pass, can defend. His defense gets slept on, by the way. That thing that I saw, that Marc Gasol won the fucking Defensive Player of the year that he should have, the year that LeBron should have, and he wasn't even first team all defense. Go ahead and look that up. The year that Marc Gasol won the Defensive Player of the year over LeBron James, which he should not have, he was not on the first team all defense, and LeBron was. Go fuck yourself. That's terrible. They just give it to centers now. Dwight Howard won like fucking 4 in a row. Rudy Gobert. Bitch ass Rudy Gobert. Really? Okay. Woo! Had to pop off. I had to get on here and just yell a little bit because I'm done. Well, LeBron look at the game 6. 30 points. Almost a damn near triple-double. 9 boards and 8 assists. He's 38. When Michael Jordan was 38, he was on the Wizards. When Kobe was 38, he was popping Achilles and falling apart. He possibly could have a torn tendon in his foot and then needs surgery. And he healed himself like Wolverine at 38 years old. He's the best. The GOAT. To me, the gap is getting. And let me ask you this. What excuses will the Jordan fans have? Let's say he wins this year, okay? I'm manifesting that. I hope it happens. Let's say he wins this year. And he goes on to get Kyrie Irving in the offseason. And they possibly win again in somewhere in his 39-40. He has 6. He's been to 12 finals. What will you say? Will you bring up the losses? Because a lot of the losses I can explain. A lot of them. The first year that he lost, he had Xandris Ilgauskas and Mo Williams. A terrible team by all measures. And he got them there by himself. And then what did he come up against? Does anybody know? Bueller? It was the San Antonio Spurs with Tim Duncan and Greg Popovich. And that dynasty. And then his first year, the one that I do hold against him. Again, though, I would like you to go back and look at the Miami Heat roster of that first year that he went to the finals against the Dallas Mavericks. I just want you to look at it. I also would like to mention that the Dallas Mavericks played out of their fucking gourds. Jason Terry and Jason Kidd have never played better. JJ Barea was like, you know what? I'm a world beater. And I'd like to go out there and show the world why I am Michael Jordan. A lot of excuses. LeBron didn't play well. I give you all that. The 4th year that he was in Miami and they lose to, again, a San Antonio Spur dynasty with now a young Kawhi Leonard who has appeared that was not the number 1 on that team. He wasn't even the number fucking 3 on that team. It went Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili. Kawhi Leonard was an afterthought on this fucking deep roster. And you want to sit here and pretend like that Jordan would have had nope. What if Jordan played that San Antonio Spurs team? Do you want to really play that game? Because I would go as far to say that they would struggle. They would struggle. The defense would be a whole new level. Scottie Pippen would have real assignments when it comes to the other side of them all running around, getting to their spots and hitting shots. Fuck out of here. LeBron James is the GOAT. I didn't go through the rest of them, but because the Kevin Durant they ruined my man's legacy. It was so weak. So weak. And LeBron James.
Second down.
The Denver Nuggets. The Denver Nuggets, man. I gotta tell you that they are a formidable opponent. A formidable opponent. We've got well, first of all, what I wrote down here was that they bested the Suns. They beat the Suns. The Sun. You know what's amazing about the Suns? They have Devin Booker and Kevin Durant locked up for the next 4 years. So if they can move some things around, if they can get out from under DeAndre Ayton and Chris Paul and kind of move on from them and get some other pieces in there, that is going to be a problem in the future because Devin Booker is for real. Kevin Durant is a bitch, but he at least scores 30 points a game. And I would say in the future, we definitely need to look out for the Suns. But the Nuggets took care of them. The Nuggets are a more complete team. 1 through 5 is a great. Their starting lineup is fucking legit. Aaron Gordon coming to that team last year was really a good pickup. And now Kentavious Caldwell-Pope out there fucking hooping, man. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope making Lakers fans go, damn it, why did we let this go? I don't understand why we let this go. So very impressed with the Nuggets. Now, here's where the big dicks need to swing because now you're in the Western Conference Finals. Now now you've got the LA Lakers coming to town who beat you in the bubble. And I hope for my guy's sake that the moment is too big for all of these Denver Nuggets. Now, I will say in the bubble, they didn't have Jamal Murray. They didn't have, or did they? Well, they didn't have Aaron Gordon. They didn't have Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. And I don't think they had Michael Porter Jr., but I can't really remember about Jamal Murray. But either way, their squad is healthy. They've got all of them there. I think that, I know how big of a deal this is because I am a basketball fan and I do know how good the Denver Nuggets are right now. So I'm not going to sit here and pretend like this is just some walk in the park. It's not. The Los Angeles Lakers will have their hands full. I would go as far to say that I think that the Lakers can overcome it, but it's probably going to be a 7-game series, and it's going to be very back and forth, and I hope for a very competitive series, and I hope that no one gets hurt on the Lakers, because if one of their pieces go out, they're up shit's creek, because right now they're gelling very well together. I guess the same could be said about the Denver Nuggets. If one of their big pieces go out, especially if Jokic or Jamal Murray go down, this is over, and the Lakers will take it. But I can't wait. Game 1 is tonight. It should be a great series, and I'm just hoping. Let's go Lakers. Let's go Lakers. So, I remember what I was going to say is that the Denver Nuggets in the bubble, Jokic. It's interesting because as much as I like Jokic, and I do think he's a talent, obviously he's fucking talented, but when he gets into these big moments, it's almost like his style of kind of slow, herky-jerky play, it kind of falls off because the intensity level in the Western Conference Finals, it's even higher. Where it was before, you're playing the Suns, you're playing whoever, yeah, okay, but now it's it's high. Now it's okay. You really got to bring your A game because this is going to be for the whole world to see. There's not going to be another game being played. You guys will have all by yourself. You will be prime time, and the Lakers are coming to town. So I'm hoping that Jokic falls apart again. Go Lakers.
Third down.
Jimmy motherfucking buckets. Jimmy motherfucking buckets. And I mean the Knicks. This is a win for the Knicks, right? For the Knicks to make it to this point, to make it to the semifinals, to put up a fight, to play well against Miami, and do a good job. You know, I really do appreciate what the Knicks have done this year, and I think they're a couple pieces away. Jalen Brunson and Julius. Man, to see the Knicks fans jumping on Julius Randle's fucking thing. Listen, I mean, I get it. He didn't play well, and you know it seems like you want to blame it on just one guy, but it was a team effort. And hilarious that this guy who has really, he's been I think he's all NBA third team or something like that. And he's really a good player. And for y'all to behave like that just shows New Yorkers can't be happy. They don't want to be happy. They just want to be walk around and go, it's fucking cold out here. Where's the postman? But Jimmy Buckets, man, he shows up and he balls and he's got some dog in him. And they're the 8th seed. Never has an 8th seed ever won the championship. And I got to tell you, part of me is kind of rooting for that. There's only been one time, I looked it up last night, I believe in the abbreviated season from the lockout, the New York Knicks, I believe it was in 1999, they made the finals as an 8th seed, and they were out. They got beat by the San Antonio Spurs, and that's the only time that an 8th seed has even made the finals. So if Miami can beat Boston, they will be the second team to make it there, and I will give it to you in a full season. They then potentially will get Tyler Hero back and be even more formidable. I'll say this about Miami, and I said it a second ago, but I'll name some names here: Gabe Vincent, Max Strus, Caleb Martin, the way Bam Abba, the way that those guys are playing right now. I mean, You look at a team like the Dallas Mavericks who had a bunch of role players like that all of a sudden caught fire at the right time. They get Tyler Hero back and he can add something to it. The way Duncan Robinson plays when you get in the playoffs, I mean, it's very impressive. I am all in on Miami. I know I wanted this. I know I said Celtics, and I know last year I was a big Jason Tatum fan. We'll get to it in the next down, but I just don't think so. But I'm rooting for Miami. I'm rooting for Jimmy Buckets. Jimmy Butler, man. I would go as far to say, to me, if you're saying I have to pick, so like if I have to pick Jimmy Butler or Joel Embiid, okay, right now, I get to put one of them on my team. I'm picking Jimmy Butler. I'm not picking Joel Embiid, who just fell apart in a Game 7. In Game 6, he played well, but you lost at home to close it. I'm not picking that. I'm picking the guy who's like, fuck that. We're going to win. Jimmy Buckets looks his teammates in the face and they just know. Jimmy Buckets is here to fucking win. Playoff Jimmy. Get it done, man. I'm rooting for you. I also think it's going to be a very good series. Let's talk about it.
4th down.
Now, Jason Tatum, 51 points in a Game 7. That's a record. Absolutely demolished the 76ers in Game 7. And, Game 6 starts off so cold. I believe he had 1 point for the first half at one point. I mean, it was bad. He couldn't hit anything. And then fourth quarter, 16 points, goes off, has this incredible run, and they end up winning the game. Very impressive. I'm impressed by Jason Tatum. I'm impressed by Jaylen Brown. I like Malcolm Brogdon. I like the pieces that I think I'm out on Marcus Smart, though. I think I'm out on that. Sometimes they'll give you 20. Sometimes it ain't shit, and you just have to be like, all right, well, why are we even doing this then? Because your defense, it's not that good. You're not. I mean, he won Defensive Player of the Year, but it's not looking like that this year. Neither here nor there. I like the Celtics. I do think that Miami is up against a task here. This is not going to be easy. This is going to be hard. I hope both series go 7 games. I would assume that nobody's going to sweep anybody. And I'll say this about Miami versus Boston. You saw kind of in the bubble when they played, Jimmy Buckets gives so much trouble to that duo. That duo is, you can't put Marcus Smart on Jimmy Butler because he's going to kill him. And so you are asking Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum to switch over and to get on Jimmy Butler. And if Jimmy Butler has gotten time to heal that ankle up, good luck. Good luck. If he's had these last few days to ice and get his ankle right, y'all are in deep shit with Jimmy Buckets. I'm telling you. I am 100% behind Miami. I am rooting for that 8 seed. Yeah, I want a bubble rematch. Oh, and by the way, I haven't said the bubble stuff very much. Oh, the bubble doesn't count. Oh, the bubble was just that's an asterisk. That doesn't. It's not real. It wasn't real basketball. Kyrie Irving wasn't there. Neither was Kawhi didn't play. Shut the fuck up. Look at this. The Final Four is the Final Four from the bubble. 2 years removed. Get the fuck out of here. The bubble was maybe the hardest way to play basketball for these guys. They didn't have their family. They didn't get to go home. They didn't get to be in their normal routine. They were staying at a hotel that, I'm sure was nice, but it was still a hotel. If any of you have ever stayed at a hotel for a long time, after a while, you're like, fuck this. I want to get the fuck out of here. I am 100% rooting for a bubble rematch, and the same bubble outcome too would be great. By the way, I'm going Miami Lakers in 6. Yeah, that's what I want. Let's go back to the bubble. Let's go back to the bubble. Stick them back in the hotel. God damn it.
5th down.
All right, real quick, just a little bit NFL. I haven't talked about it. I was going to talk about it with Debo last week, but we just didn't get to it. But the NFL draft happened. I'm not going to sit here and rattle off a bunch of names because I'm not great at it. I don't know a ton about college football. I do know kind of the top names that were out there, the Bijan Robinsons and the Jalen Carters and the C.J. Strouds and all that. And, I said C.J. Stroud. You know why? Because the Houston Texans, I feel like we won, man. I feel like we won that draft. It felt like draft day. I felt like Kevin Costner was going to show up and go, we got Aaron Foster too. But it just was like, it was amazing for us to trade up like that. We have so many picks. I'm not crazy about how much we gave away for Will Anderson. It was a big haul that they gave away. And I'm also of the mindset that I really believe that Caleb Williams is going to be the next big thing in the NFL. So I would have been cool with, at number 2, us taking Will Anderson and sucking this year and losing again and getting Caleb Williams, because I do believe had we rolled Davis Mills back out there, we would have been one of the worst teams in the league. So I would have been okay with that. Now, if in a draft you get 2 of the top 10 players on the board, you get 2 of them, that's really good. I believe you won that draft. We need somebody to replace a J.J. Watt. We need an edge rusher. Will Anderson seems like he is going to be that. Maybe not J.J. Watt, but he's going to be a good player, a great player. I love that pickup. And as far as C.J. Stroud, I mean, what he showed us in that Georgia game was incredible. And he played incredible in that game. Am I 100% behind an Ohio State quarterback? It's kind of tough. It's kind of hard to say. I don't know if I would go that far, but he seems like he's got good intangibles, and I think if we build around him, he needs some receivers desperately. I kind of hope that maybe we would stay at 12 and get Jackson Smith at Njigba, but he went to the Seahawks, which is think about that Seahawks fucking receiving core. That is scary for Geno Smith. That is very, very that Jackson Smith is a fucking slot guy at this point behind Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf. Fuck. The Seahawks, we'll talk about it, but I got the Seahawks definitely in the playoffs. The Eagles, man, holy shit. The Eagles have Nakobe Dean, what's his name? Jordan Davis from the first Georgia championship team, and then they doubled down and got fucking Jalen Carter and Nolan Smith from this year's Georgia defense championship team. What the fuck? Now we're going to watch these guys grow into full-grown men that are just going to dominate together, that have played together since they were young kids. Fuck. Holy shit, is the Eagles team going to be good. Oh, and then right after the draft, they trade for DeAndre Swift. You can go ahead and you can pop the Philadelphia Eagles in the Super Bowl right now. Jesus Lord. A couple other things that happened, surprising things that happened, like Will Levis. I swear to God, if Will Levis had gone number 2 to the Houston Texans, I was not going to be a fan anymore. I was gonna give it up. I was gonna say, that's it. I can't do this. I can't be a fucking Texans fan anymore. We went and drafted mayonnaise in the coffee, motherfucker. First of all right, let's say I started this podcast off by bringing a banana and biting into it. Didn't take the peel off. I just started eating a banana with the peel. You people would call the cops. The people watching this would say something has gone terribly wrong. He has lost his mind. That's not normal. Well, that's how Will Levis eats his bananas. That's a red flag. Somebody eats a banana with the peel on it, you have them locked up in a mental institute because there's something wrong with you. I have been dared to eat a banana peel because I'm crazy like that, and people know that I'll do crazy things. And let me tell you, it's terrible. The peel is fucking awful. You don't want to eat it. Monkeys don't even do it, okay? Monkeys don't even do it. So he falls, though. He falls out of the first round. He has his moment of sitting in the green room and trying to act cool, but it just wasn't cool. You did not go in the top 4 the way a lot of people thought you might. Falls all the way to the beginning of the second round. I believe is the second pick of the second round to Tennessee Titans, which is interesting. I mean, listen, the Titans do need a quarterback, so I like the thought process of, let's see if maybe the kid's got a chance. Do I believe in the Tennessee Titans? No, I don't think they're going to do anything this year, but they do have a good coach, and they have a strong defense, and Derrick Henry. So if Will Levis can be something, it's interesting. The other guy was Hendon Hooker. I like Hendon Hooker. I think he's a better quarterback than Will Levis and possibly Anthony Richardson, but he's hurt. He tore his ACL, so he's not going to play this year. But it's a good pickup by the Detroit Lions because, they have Jared Goff, and that's for this foreseeable future. But let this guy develop, and I like it. The other, and to speak of the Detroit Lions, the other thing I wrote on here that was a big shock was at number 12, because Bijan Robinson was, by all accounts, the best running back in this draft. People have been comparing him to, all the greats, that he is this big, game-changing running back, Derrick Henry type. And he went number 8 to the Atlanta Falcons. I think they did that just to kind of keep him from other teams. I don't think they wanted to see the Philadelphia Eagles draft Bijan Robinson. I don't think they wanted to see some of these other teams. But then, for them to do that, okay, fine, interesting. I don't believe in the Atlanta Falcons yet, but he'll be a bell cow for him and great. But for the Detroit Lions to go and take Jabril Gibbs when they did at number 12. That was a stretch. I did not see on people's mock drafts that he was going that high. Listen, if you like your guy, go for it. I get it. I'm a fantasy drafter. I get it. But I thought, man, that's a stretch, But I like the Lions. I like what they're doing. Got a little surprise for the Lions fans in overtime. So, fantasy football, this is the name of the game. That's the name of this game, the waiver wire game. I don't know what game I'm talking about, but we're all in the game. Get in the game. Get your head in the game. And I just wanted to talk about what I went and looked last night to see what the mock draft has as the top picks for fantasy football. And boy, oh boy, did it surprise me because of where they put. Oh, okay, I'll explain. Justin Jefferson, number 1. I respect that wholeheartedly. I totally understand. I in a lot of ways, I would do that. I do think he's going to ball out again. He's the next level talent, and it seems like Kirk Cousins loves him, so I get it. Austin Eckler, number 2. Seems like that he's not going anywhere, so as long as he's here on the Chargers, he might as well ball, and the way he played last year, I would be very into getting Austin Eckler, especially in the top of the draft. Cooper Kupp, number 3. Now's here where I put a question mark. First of all, the Los Angeles Rams are in my maybe draft. That's how I'm going to break down drafts from now on. There are teams that I will stay away from, teams that I will not draft from, and then teams that are maybes, teams that are, there are players on that team that obviously I would draft, but I don't know how good the team's going to be, so I'm going to try to keep my distance from them. And then there are the teams that are obviously yeses. Those are playoff teams. Those are teams that I like a lot of the players on the team, and I do believe that they will be I don't know the word for it, but they will be worthy of everybody from that team being draftable. Even if I had to compare, I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, Cooper Kupp at number 3. Cooper Kupp at number 3, coming off an injury and coming off a team that's just really not looking like they're geared to be that great. That's a little high for me. I liked Cooper Kupp. I'm a Cooper Kupp. I love him, and he's done great for me, but it's a little high. I take Jamar Chase over him. I take Christian McCaffrey over him. I damn sure take Travis Kelce over him. I'd probably take Tyreek Hill over him. So if you're telling me he's a top 10 player, yes. If you're telling me he's number 3, I got to pump the brakes on that. But number 3, they have Cooper Kupp. Number 4, they have Jamar Chase. 5, Christian McCaffrey. I was wrong on Christian McCaffrey. I won't do it again. I'm sorry, Christian, especially on the 49ers with, hurt quarterbacks. I think he puts up some fucking monster numbers here at the beginning of the year. Bijan Robinson at number 6. Wow. What a leap. What a crazy leap to take. What a crazy... listen, do I think he's going to be good? Yes. Do I think he's number 6 overall? No. That's insane. That's way, way too high. I would not draft him that high. I think that's a huge overreaction. But they have Travis Kelce at number 7, Tyreek Hill at number 8, Jonathan Taylor at number 9. That's interesting. I can't get any Colts because I don't think the Colts are going to be very good. I think Anthony Richardson will have some growing pains, so I think they will struggle. But that doesn't mean that Jonathan Taylor necessarily is a bad fantasy pickup. But for me, Bijan Robinson and Jonathan Taylor both fall in that no category of I won't draft them because I don't believe in the team. Number 10 is Saquon Barkley. I have the Giants as a question mark team. They're a maybe team. They obviously played much better last year, and Saquon did great. I was wrong. Christian McCaffrey and Saquon, I was wrong. Ezekiel Elliott, I was right. But Christian McCaffrey and Saquon Barkley, now they are used cars. We could see them run off the tracks here in this next, and so could Christian McCaffrey. So, yeah, interesting. The only other quick thing I wanted to say was, last year we had Kansas City, Buffalo, Cincinnati, Jacksonville, Chargers, Miami, and Baltimore make the playoffs. I'm going to swap only one team as being the team that won't make the playoffs this year. I'm going to say it's Baltimore. I think maybe, they made some moves, but I think maybe there was maybe a little turmoil in this offseason. Might catch up to them. I think that the Cleveland Browns are going to make the playoffs. There are two teams that I'm riding with as far as new hot teams this year, and that is the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Cleveland Browns, especially fantasy. I'll take all of that. And I have the Cleveland Browns getting into the playoffs. I have Kansas City 1, Buffalo 2, Cincinnati 3, Jacksonville 4. I think that's easy. I think those guys win the division. I have Cleveland 5. I'm telling you, I think they play really well. I have Chargers 6 and Miami 7, and that's going to leave out the Jets with Aaron Rodgers. Baltimore, New England, Tennessee, Denver, Vegas, Pittsburgh. The AFC is so stacked. It's so stacked. The NFC, not so much. I do have 2 switches from last year. Last year, it was Philly, San Francisco, Minnesota, Tampa Bay, Dallas, Giants, and Seattle. I am going to say that New Orleans will take Tampa Bay's spot and they will win the division. I still have Minnesota winning their division, but I have Detroit getting into the playoffs this year. No Green Bay. Green Bay, I think, will miss it. But I have Seattle and Dallas as well. So the new teams are New Orleans and Detroit. I'm speaking kind of out of turn on New Orleans. Let's be honest, that division is trash, so we won't really know what happens. But I just don't think the Tampa Bay will make it back to winning that division. It'll be a little sucky with Baker Mayfield going from my guy, the GOAT, to the Baker Mayfield. Woo! Okay, goodness, full board here. I knocked it out. I think we got some good stuff. I believe basketball is ready to crown my guy for a 5th time, and party people in the house. Let's go! Aight, so. God, it's just the best song. Isn't it the best song? Love you guys. Fuck off. And fuck the algorithm.